my name is Heather. I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, and my closet name is Hot Posh Fashions. This is going to be a closet evaluation for Rose, and let's go ahead and get over to her closet. So this is Rose's closet, and just so you know a little bit about Rose, she says that she has been actively reselling for about 6 months. She sources from her home, Goodwill bins, and local thrift stores. She has some help with her sharing and relisting follows and sending out offers to likers. She says she hasn't posted any new items in a little while because she's been moving. And her short-term goal is to reach $100 per week in profit so that she can grow her inventory. So let's start looking at Rose's closet. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is first impressions of Rose's closet. So that will start with the profile picture. So profile picture is good. I love florals, so I really like the colors there. And I feel like your eyes are really popping and you look friendly and approachable. So I like that. Your header image is the same as your profile picture, which is okay. As you can see, mine's very similar. They're two different things. One is designed for a circle logo and the other one is designed more for the header, but they're very similar branding pictures. So what I would recommend is maybe not use exactly the same picture. I really like the florals, and I think that if you could somehow hone in on the floral background there, maybe just crop that and zoom it in. I think that floral background would make a really good header as just the whole florals in the background. But that's just a suggestion. Of course, these suggestions, take them or leave them. Also, for anyone listening, I will be speaking directly to Rose, but this is for anybody who wants to listen and get any tips or tricks that they can apply to their own closet. And I also apologize if my voice is a little off or if I sniff or cough. I have a little bit of a cold. But I'm okay, so I just sound kind of bad. So anyways, we'll carry on from there. So your closet name, excuse me, you have Rose C, which I assume your last name begins with a C. So that is fine. So one thing that I was recommended when I started to brand was to create like a motto for your closet. So that's kind of where I have like uniquely joyful. That's kind of my vibe. I try to pick unique items that will stand out, that aren't run of the mill, but I also like a lot of color and patterns, which is kind of funny because you could see a lot of color in my backgrounds there, but the items at the top really aren't that colorful. Let's see what's next. Okay, a little bit more color. All right, so you don't have to do that right now. That's kind of something if you wanted to grow into more of a small business and you wanted to work on branding, that would be a good place for that. So a tip I would give you for right now, though, is if you put an exclamation point at the beginning of your name, what that does is when people mass follow, so in other words, when people go into these big, I'm going to click on your followers. So when people go into these big lists of followers and just start clicking follow, if you'll notice those exclamation points, it's alphabetized, but those exclamation points at the beginning bring you to the beginning of the list. So say, for example, someone was just going in and mass following the first 100 people or whatever, or even if they have a service that's mass following, but they're doing it in order, they're just opening it up and following down the list, you're much more likely to receive a follow from someone else if you have an exclamation point at the beginning of your name. So you see how some of these people have 3 exclamation points or 4 or whatever, that's not helping them. So it's really like that one. Actually, it looks like 1 with a space is really ideal. Yeah, the 1 with a space, even like if you come further down, you see it's like 1, no space, and then they start their name. They're actually further down. Oh, and there's me. So maybe I need to put a space there. I just learned something too. So it looks like 1 with a space is really getting you at the top of the list right there. So I would recommend that you do that to gain more followers. The number of followers you have isn't super duper important. It probably plays some role in sales, but it's not the be all end all to whether or not you get sales. So I wouldn't, we'll talk more about kind of like actively gaining followers. But you are still a new and small closet. So, I mean, I think that it's important for you to try to gain some momentum in followers, but it's not the be all end all primary thing you should be focused on. There are other primary things to focus on first, and let that kind of be like a secondary thing that we focus on. Let me get a drink of water. My throat's dry. Sorry about that. Whoops, and I just spilled a little bit of it on my phone. Okay, so the next thing is also real quick, your closet name, the at part of it. I'm not sure, Rose Redux, I'm not sure what is it, reducing, or I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. So while you're still young and early, it would be a good time if you want to change that. You are able to make changes to that also. So make it, if you want to, I like rose, and I like the roses, all the flowers and roses in the background and blah, 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 all that. But if you want to make that something more catchy, more appealing, now would be the time to do it. Now would be the time to really jump into that and get that going to have it be something that's eye-catching and memorable. Okay, so the next thing I would talk about right here is there's a place that you can, in your about, that you can put something that appears right here. And that is where I would put, if you have any, which I'm not sure, we'll have to, get into it. But if you have any Posh statistics, that would be the place to put it right there. You may not where you're new, but that's also a good place to put like your sale information. So we'll just click at mine. And of course, I'm not perfect by any means, and there are other ways to do things. But here's how I have mine. I run this sale all the time. What's included in the 3 for $30 kind of changes. I add things to it periodically. And then these are some Poshmark stats that I have that I thought would be good things to have on there. So I'm a top seller and a Posh mentor. There's also lots of other things I could put on there, but there's only so much space, and I think that that's probably the most important things to have on there for now. Another good thing you could put on there, which shame on me for not doing it, but I actually removed my bundle discount because I run some other promotions from time to time. But if you do have a constant bundle discount, it will show up right here. So if you're willing to run something that runs all the time, I would definitely put it into your sales information so that it will pop up right here. It'll encourage people that if they come to your closet to go ahead and attempt to make a bundle to get that discount. I send out messages to people daily talking about bundles. So I don't actually I kind of removed it just because I offer better deals quite often. So I went ahead and removed mine. That was just a personal choice. Okay, so let's look at your info. Let's go in here to about, see what you're about. Okay, so today is January 28th. So it says last active January 26th. It's not going to tell me what time because it's been more than 24 hours. It will tell you how many hours in the first 24 hours, but after that, it will put a date. So it's the 28th. So that means it is 12 o'clock Eastern time, and you're in Missouri. So that might be Central, or I'm not sure what time zone that St. Louis is. And you may be busy this morning and not be on there, but there was a whole entire day with no activity. So the 27th, and that may be a fluke for you. It may be something that doesn't happen very often. But you did say you had some help with shares and things of that nature. So I'm hoping that, something was done on the 27th that just for some reason isn't showing, because you definitely don't want to skip days with activity. Bare bones minimum, you should be sharing your closet at least 3 or 4 times a day, especially if you have help with that. So your average ship time is good, 2 days. That's fine. And it's showing that you're a new posher. You haven't received any love notes yet, so I would really try to encourage that with your upcoming sales. Really maybe make on your note that you send, just say that you'd love some feedback on their purchase. You can put in the little note something like, I'm a new seller and I would love feedback on this purchase. If you have the time. So that just means that they've done more than just give you a star rating. They've also given you specific feedback, on the purchase. Excuse me. And you've given one, so that's good. In order to become Posh Ambassador, you have to give some love notes. So that's good. Okay. It looks like you share new poshers, which is great. So what I would say is if you are going to share other people's closets, new poshers is the way to go. If you're going to put any time or invest anything into sharing new poshers, that's definitely the place to do it. To share other people's closets, new poshers is definitely the place to do it. And the reason I say that is because it draws attention to your closet. New poshers tend to be buyers, not sellers. So when you share their items, they don't have as much going on in their closet, and they're going to get a notification showing that you've shared, especially if you share multiple items. And I think that so I wouldn't be looking at that for them to share you back. I would be doing that in an attempt to have them come to your closet, which I think they will. So that will draw them to your closet and hopefully may lead to a follow or a purchase. So that would be my goal there. So definitely, if you're going to share other closets, your first priority should be sharing new closets. You have a decent share number for, 6 months. Let's see. Let me break out my nifty difty calculator. So if you're sharing, let's say 4,000 divided by 6, so about a little less than 700 a month. And then let's divide that by 30. Well, so that shows that we're doing on average about 20 or 25 shares a day. Okay, that's really not enough. So because that just doesn't even cover your closet. So we really need to step up the share game. So you have, just off the top of my head looking at here, you probably have roughly 50 or so active, maybe 60 active listings or so, just by glancing. So if you're sharing 3 to 4 times a day, let's say even 3 times a day, if you have 60 times 3, your bare bone minimum sharing should be 180 shares a day. So you're kind of behind the game on shares there. So let's try to make sure that we're doing that. And actually, with a closet your size, we'll talk more about shares in a little while, but for a closet your size, I would actually recommend sharing more than 3 to 4 times a day. There are, especially if you have help, and there actually are, Poshmark has a feature that we'll talk about in a little while that really helps speed up sharing. That's really great. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so my info, we looked at that. Let me just make sure that I didn't miss anything. Okay, we're good there. Okay, so let's go back to, oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. Okay, so let's go back to your page here and look at your first listings. So the first things are going to be the first things people see if they come to your closet. It is the order is defaulted to just shared, meaning things that have been most recently shared by you. Someone else sharing does not affect this. Only you sharing affects this. Now, sometimes people will change that. It can be changed right there. But most people, for the most part, they don't know that, and it will just, especially just shoppers, and it will just stay at defaulted at just shared. So these are the things that people are going to see first. So I would really think about, and this is going to change as you share. But the first 2 to 3 lines is probably what they're going to see first. So you want that to be really representative of you. And if you have the time and means, it's good to have a welcome up here. So it's good to have a listing that is, and I don't have that. I'm guilty. I don't have it because my closet's so large and it would be a headache to keep up with. But with a smaller closet, it wouldn't be that hard to keep up with it. It would just need to be the last thing you share. It would be like a little welcome here, saying thanks for coming in my closet. Maybe this would be a good place if you are running a sale to put a sale right there. Also, so that is one recommendation I would do for these first listings. Okay, so let's look at your stats. Okay, so listings, 85 total. So like I said, I'm not counting, but I'd say you have roughly 60 or so active listings there. So that's a decent number. I would make a goal to try to get that, a short-term goal to try to get that to 100. And it looks like you have a few shares under your belt too. So that's good to have some not shares, solds. You've got some solds under your belt, so that's good. Unfortunately, none of these people have left you love notes, which is unfortunate. But there are some solds there. So the listings are okay. I would just try to get that up to 100 listings, 100 active listings, because that's really a place where it seems like the closets start to take off a little better. Your shares, what we already talked about, numbers of shares, I feel like you probably need to be sharing more unless you just started off really slow and have picked up a lot more in the, recently, that would be different, but it's hard for me to tell, when you shared. So there's no way for me to really tell that. So just make sure that you're sharing your own closet a minimum of 3 to 4 times. But we'll talk about that per day. Excuse me. Okay, so your following and your followers are fine for a new closet. They're fairly even. You don't have tons and tons and tons more following than followers. Lots of times you see that my closet's kind of like that. I have twice as many following as followers. No big deal, but those are decent numbers for a new closet, so we're good there. Okay, let's see what you told me your best listing was. I think I saved somewhere. Let's see. Please hold just one moment. Okay, you told me that you're most proud, and I did not save it, that you're most proud of this red dress. If I can get to it. I thought I saved it. Sorry about that. My computer just kind of glitched for a second. There it is. Now I'll save it. And you do have a lot of likes on there. So that's good. So people are liking that. Okay, so this is the one you're most proud of. So let's kind of look at it. Okay, so looks new with tags. And you do have new with tags over here. Okay. 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 So this is kind of, my own thing is I really prefer, if stock photos are available, I prefer stock photos unless you're self modeling something. So I would actually use that stock photo as your cover shot. I think that is a little more appealing than this is, even though that picture is clearer and it's really showing that pretty red wine color. This is going to draw more attention. Excuse me, I need another drink. So I would switch those and have that. I would also take pictures of your tag. I see your tag there to prove your price. So, or your retail price. So I would take pictures of those tags. It also helps if people want to do, any research on this item or anything like that. I would also, going forward, as far as pictures go, is I like to take a picture. If I think there's a zipper right here, I like to take a picture of it unzipped all the way, so people can kind of see how much space there is, where the zipper is and how much space there is to get in and out of the item. So I like to take a picture of that. I also, okay, you don't have measurements in your description, but I tend to, if I'm going to take pictures of the item, which you have, then I also do a little flat lay and just real quick take measurements of, in this particular case, I would do a pit to pit measurement. You don't have to write it in your description, just take a picture of it. So I would do a pit to pit measurement, and then I do a pit to the hem measurement. So like how long is it from here all the way down to the end, especially where you can't see the end in the photos. And if you can't fit it into one photo nice and pretty, you can take a picture of like the first part showing where the one is, where the 0 and 1 are hitting, and then a separate picture of the second half here showing where the end is and the end measurement. In this case, I would also, those are the two priorities I would say, is pit to pit and pit to hem. But if you want to take another couple seconds, I would also take a measurement of how far the zipper opens, and I would take a measurement of this width of this strap right here. So those aren't hard to do. It would take an extra minute of photography. When you're photographing this, it would take an extra minute of photography to take those measurements real quick in a flat lay. And you don't even have to write them in your description. You can just have them there. So there's a couple of good reasons why I do that. And one is I absolutely do not like, when I get a question about measurements, having to go dig out the item from my inventory in order to take measurements. I would much rather just hit it off right here at the front end and get the measurements in there. Because I don't want to have to deal with that. I've done it so many times. And more often than not, I end up going and getting the item out, measuring it. Sometimes I forget about it. It takes me a day or two, which doesn't look good. And then probably 9 out of 10 times they don't buy it anyways. So I just feel like that if I have measurements there, they don't have to ask and I don't have to do it. And it's already there. And if they're going to buy it, they're going to buy it. The other reason I do that is because that way they don't have an argument if they do buy it about how the measurements fit or anything like that. If they don't like the measurements, then they shouldn't buy, and there's no argument on the tail end. Even though Poshmark doesn't do returns for size, it just makes it so that I don't have to deal with the headache later on and somebody unhappy. So I just go ahead and do it up front and take care of that, and it's easy and it doesn't take any time. Okay, so you have, let's talk about this title here. Okay, so you have plenty of space to put more descriptors in this title. So a couple things I would put. So Calvin Klein, great. Dress, great. Brand new with tags is, okay, but you don't have to say that because you've got this new with tags thing right here. And most people don't go around searching for BNWT. But what they do search for are things like velvet. So put that word velvet in there. And stretch. So get that word stretch in there. And also the color. So you already have someone asking right here, is this red or purple? And you say it's a dark red, like wine. So I would go ahead, and there's probably a color on the tag. The tag probably says what color it is. And I would, if it does, which it should, I would put that in there. I would also put the word red or wine red or something like that, Merlot red, something like that. You have so much more space that you could put in your title. Get those things in there. The other thing I would put in there is I think this looks like it's probably a mini dress. So I would, right before the word dress, I would put mini. Maybe you could put a descriptive about this knotting here. You might be able to write something about that. But also I would get in there the size. So you can write out the word size and then 14, or if you don't have space, you could just put SZ to abbreviate size and then put 14. So I would make sure that I got all those in there. As much of that as you can without abbreviating things that don't need to be abbreviated. And this is probably, I wouldn't put that unless I just had plenty. I've got everything else in there and I have plenty of room, then maybe put that there because it's unnecessary because it's right here. And then also, if you are going to use this BNWT in your description down here, I would write, if you're going to write BNWT, I would also spell it out. So actually write the words brand new with tags. So that, because not everybody knows what that means. And same with, over here, the NWT, like that's going to show up, but not every buyer, not everybody who's searching Calvin Klein on Google, Calvin Klein red mini dress on Google is going to know what NWDT means or BNWT. So write it out in the description. And also another thing, take pictures, you put stretchy fabric. So you're going to get a question at some point of what is the fabric? What kind of fabric is it? So when you're taking your pictures, just find your fabric tag, your care tag inside the dress and take a picture of it and just put it in your pictures. It will have not only the percentage of the fabric content, but also how to care for it, because people are going to want to know also not only what fabric is it, but is this washable? Does this have to be dry cleaned? Stuff like that. The other picture that I would definitely take is take your tags, which we already talked about that to prove, because it's hard to see them right there. Take, pictures of just the tags with all the information on it, but also take a picture of the tag inside, the tag that says Calvin Klein size 14. Take a picture of that also. Some people like to see those tags. People that know a lot about fashion would also like to see those because it can help them determine like, how old is this item? Is it a vintage item? If they're looking for vintage, is it a new item? Whatever. So take pictures of those also. These are all like quick, easy things that you can do while you're doing this, and it will really increase the quality of your listing. So let's kind of, okay, so, and you don't have to write, this is fine, stretch, blah, 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 comfortable fit. But when you take pictures of all those tags with the fabric and, the sizes and the retail tags and all that stuff, you don't have to then rewrite them. It's fine if you take the measurements and all that. If you take those pictures and put them in there, don't feel the need. If you want to rewrite them, great, wonderful, but don't feel the need to have to rewrite them. It's better to take the time to take the pictures and not rewrite them than to do nothing. To feel obligated to rewrite it and you just don't want to take that time, so you just don't take them at all. Get the pictures in there, let the pictures speak for themselves. Okay, so there's that. So let's comp this. So I'm going to comp, let's see. We're going to comp out, I bet this dress has a name too, but I don't know because I can't see the tag. So Calvin Klein red velvet mini dress. And your dress is probably not even going to pop up in the search because you don't have a bunch of these descriptors. Okay, but guess what did? Oh, you could also put sheath. It is a sheath dress. This looks very similar. Is this the same dress? Let's see. This is your dress. Okay, this is your same dress in the same size right here. Just for giggles, let's look and see what they've got here. Okay, so twist knot. Okay, sheath dress. I didn't even think about that. Calvin Klein's Of the Moment. Okay, so there's what it's called. Of the Moment. That's the name of that dress. Okay, and I feel like they probably got all this information off of a website somewhere because it definitely seems like it. But look at how well that's written. And they're calling it, so this must be the color, Aubergine must be the color that's listed on the tag. And then they just put a thing, appears burgundy to purple, so which is a dark red. It looks like it's velvet polyester. Okay, so they've got a lot of good information there. They've also got even more photos that you can feel free to swipe. This looks like this model here is a thinner model, and you've got a 14 plus size dress, and this definitely looks more like a plus size model right there. Let's see what else. She's got a close up of the fabric. So I don't see, she's also got it labeled as boutique, which that's not really what it should be labeled as. She doesn't say, I mean, boutiques should be new items. Should definitely be new items. But I wouldn't call this a boutique item because I doubt she got this direct from Calvin Klein or whoever this is. Excuse me. I doubt that's direct from Calvin Klein. So that would not qualify it as a boutique. That would qualify it as a new with tags. A boutique item has to mean that it's never been in a retail setting. Ever. Been in a retail setting. So anyways, excuse me. Another couple of things that I just noticed that we'll talk about is, so they've got the color red and purple, which is exactly what I would do because it's a dark red purplish color. So I would click both of those, and then I like how, they've got that it's a I wouldn't even put purple here. I would just call this a burgundy or a wine or Merlot or whatever. They also, I noticed that you had women dresses, and they went one step further and put mini, which is what I would also do if I know. If I'm not sure, then leave that out. If it's kind of like borderline and you can't decide, then leave it out. But that is definitely a mini dress. Oh, this is good. The neckline, V-back, sleeveless. These are all good things. I'd almost steal this. Steal it and just make enough little edits to it to make it look like you did it. I almost guarantee they got that from a website somewhere anyways. Okay, so just to compare, you've got retail price of $119. They've got $129, so I would verify that. Here's one thing I'll say about putting a retail price is only put a retail price if you 100% know what the retail price is. If you are not 100% sure, put 0. If you're 100% sure, I would only put it here if this price and this price are significantly different, which I would say at least 50% different. Otherwise, put 0. Again, you can put 0 there, and then if you have pictures of your tag, you don't necessarily have to put anything there. So you could sell this dress, you could list this dress for a higher price by putting 0 here because no one's going to see that difference. So let's look some more. Okay. So he's got 129. So just verify that. And like I said, if you're not sure, put 0. He's listed at, is this a he? I think it's a he. Looks like a he. He's listed at $52 and you are listed at $35. Let's check one thing. So let me show you something you can do. We haven't got to the concept of relisting yet, but we will. And so what we're going to do is, the way you can check, there's multiple ways you can check, but the quick and dirty way to check to see how long something's been listed, whoops, I clicked the wrong thing, is to click on the photo and hit open image, a new tag. And I hope you can see this, but it's going to open it right here. And then I can look and see that this was listed on 12/17/2021. So you are not at 60 days yet. So this is still considered a fairly new listing, but just out of giggles, let's look and see how long his has been listed. Okay, so let's look at his. His has been listed since 10/19/2028. Wow. I mean 2018. 10/19/2018. This listing is forever old. Buddy needs to relist this. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. If that's how long yours had been listing, I would definitely be talking to you about it. But he needs to relist his item. Okay, so let's go back to this search that we have and see if there's any more of these dresses. There's another one right there in a size 12. Okay, so your pictures are already better than this one. Don't do this. If you take a picture, first of all, take your pictures. They're not taking their pictures in square mode. Take your photos in square mode. You change it on your phone. It's super easy. And that way you know exactly what you're getting and you don't have to cut anything off. So take them in square mode, and then you wouldn't have this black space, and this would be zoomed in and more, clearer. Also, take it in the correct position, or if you accidentally take it in the wrong position, rotate it, because that's a pet peeve of mine, and sometimes I don't catch myself, but I definitely try to catch myself there. So I would say negatively on them is that they have it that it was $80, and we're already pretty sure that it's much more than that retail. So they should probably put 0. And they have it listed as 45. So you're still under them. Okay. But you're different size, 12 and 14. Okay. So let's see if this person. Okay. So your listing and their listings are, I would say, fairly similar in quality. You may have a slightly better listing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just saw the title here, dress. Yeah, that's not enough. They're never going to sell this. And I'm wondering how long this has been up. Let's see. Whoops. I keep clicking the wrong thing. 11/11/2020. Okay, so their listing is way old too and needs to be redone. Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so we see what's available. Okay, so those are the things that are available. Those are I've probably picked pretty good descriptions that any of these dresses that are labeled in any type of decent fashion, although I don't see your dress, should pop up. Let me make sure. Yeah, I have all sizes. So see, like I searched Calvin Klein red velvet mini dress, and your dress isn't even popping up. So that's worrisome. Okay, so that is worrisome that your dress did not even pop up. So we need to work on it. Okay, so the next thing I want to look at is I'm going to go over here to sold items right here, because that's what's available. And that shows us like whether the market is saturated or not. But also what I'm interested in to figure out what I should be pricing at is to go to solds. Okay, so here are dresses with that description that have sold and how much that they have sold for. So let's just see if we see your exact dress, and there it is right there. So he has sold this dress before, this young man. He must have had multiples of them, and he sold it for $40. Okay, here's a very similar one. Let's see what else we got. And we want to make sure we're looking at new with tags. So here's 30 new with tags, not the same dress, but similar. Here's some more 41 new with tags, similar retail price. Okay. And see, that person called it Merlot, which is probably what I would call it, Merlot red. New with tags, $40. Okay. So what I would say is, go ahead on this listing is to go ahead and if you feel the need, if you feel the desire to go ahead and take some of the recommendations that I've said, I would just go ahead and relist this from scratch, because you're going to have to do a lot of changes to your photos and everything anyways. So I would go ahead and just relist this from scratch, and I would make this price right here, your listing price, I would put it more like maybe $49. It's probably maybe $45, but I would probably go $49. And that way, because they're selling like at $40, $35, $40. So if you put $49, you're new with tags, you're good. And then have a goal of maybe selling it for $30 to $35. Is kind of what I would say would be your goal for selling. But you always want your list price to be higher than what you actually want to sell it for, so that you can provide discounts. There's a lot of psychology behind Poshmark as far as people really want discounts. So that's kind of the culture. So the deeper you can provide the discount, you don't want to go so high that nobody likes it and nobody shows interest in it. So you want to like have a good quality listing at a, reasonable high listed price so that people click like, so that you can reach out to them. But you also want it to be that there's enough wiggle room in the price that you can slash your prices to provide those nice cushy discounts and still make the type of profit you're looking for. Personally, I would say that for a new closet, I would say that I would as a new closet, be looking for an average sales price of $25 or higher on average. So that doesn't mean that sell this for $25. That means if you have some lower listings, you want to compensate for those by having one that's a little bit higher. And that's and that also depends on how much you paid for this. I have no idea what your cost of goods are in this. So you always want to be making a decent profit over your cost of goods also. And that is a personal decision about how much you are willing to do that for. So some people want to make 3 times three times their cost of goods. I'm so sorry. And some people are fine doubling their money, and some people are fine just getting a couple dollars over what they paid for it. It just depends. And I have no idea what you pay for this, so I can't tell you what the low end you should take for it is, but I can tell you that if you make the improvements that I've said to this listing, I think you can list this for $49. That doesn't mean that you're going to sell it for $49, but I think $49 is a reasonable price for you to list it at and achieve and get likes so that you can reach out to those people in order to try to sell this dress. Okay? So I feel like we've beaten this horse. So let's go to your one that you said that you feel like needs the most work. Okay, so we'll go over here. And you said it was your white BCBG. And I feel like it was up here somewhere. Did I see it? Right here. Okay, this dress right here. And I agree. It needs work. And the first thing I would say about the work it needs is the cover shot. Okay. So there's nothing specifically wrong with this cover shot because it's identical to this cover shot, which is fine. But in this, or even this cover shot, but in these cover shots, the color difference between the item and the background is significant. So here's a little tip. When you are creating your cover shot, what you want to do is squint your eyes. Just lean back a little bit and squint your eyes and see if you can see the item. Okay? And I mean like really see the item and really be able to tell what it is. Okay, so I'm doing that right now and I can tell this is a shirt of some sort. It's red of some color. This is a shirt of some sort. It's like a bluish gray of some color. Here we go again. Some type of reddish shirt, some type of black. This is not popping. This is something dark, but I can't really tell what it is. And this is definitely not popping at all. So with that being said, when you have something white, you need to put it on a different, I know everyone really talks about the white backgrounds and that's fine and dandy, but you really need to have white on a different color background, and you need to have black on white is great. Like this dress looks great. These look good. They're black on white. I actually kind of like the flowers. The only complaint I would have is that the sheet's real wrinkled, but maybe that's what you're going for. And these are popping really good. We'll get more into pictures in a little while. I mean, I have some suggestions for these, but they are popping well. Your red top here is good. But when you get to those light colors, the real, like even this pink, if I squint my eyes, it's not popping the same way this is. Okay. So as someone scrolling quickly through their feed, or not even their feed, because people don't really go on their feed, but say they search for this brand, even if they search for that brand, which is a very, popular high-end brand, this is not going to pop out to them up against the other things. You know what? Let's just go ahead and search for it. Let's see what we find. Okay. Okay, so just if someone was literally just searching the brand, this is what they're going to find. Okay, and of course it's defaulted to just shared. No other default right now. Okay, so as you can see, we've got a lot of things popping off the page. You can do the squint test, squint your eyes, and just scroll, and you can see that a lot of things are popping off the page. Okay, so for example, and this isn't even quite as drastic as I think your dress is. I think your dress is fading into the background even more than this is. But that's not popping either. Like compared to this one over here, it's just not popping off the page. It would be better suited on a darker background or color background. Ooh, this dress is kind of cool looking. So those are just some examples. So, I mean, I would get that maybe on a darker background of some sort or a color, something solid so it really pops. Now, the only thing I would suggest is you're not going to, unfortunately, you're going to have trouble editing this photo. I already actually tried to edit it. And it wasn't coming out very pretty. So it looked very edited. So I would actually retake it, unfortunately. I mean, you can maybe keep these other ones, but just for the purpose of a cover shot, I would retake it. Or, you might even find this dress online. Actually, I think I might have already done that. I think I might have Google lensed it and couldn't find it, come to think of it. But if you're not familiar with Google Lens, if you're trying to look for better photos or modeled photos, if you take the picture and put it into Google Lens, it will pop up. It will search the internet for pictures of that item. And if you can find stock photos, that's a good way to find stock photos. Okay, so we'll go back to some of the same things. So first thing, priority number one is the picture. It's the first impression. It's the first thing. If you don't have a good picture, nobody's even going to click on your item. If your picture right here, when they're scrolling through here, look, even if they put in BCBG, Max Arzia, Max white silk mini dress. Okay, so, here's someone's looking for a white silk mini dress. Exactly what you've got. And they would have to, this is your competition. These photos are who you're competing against for attention. So you want to stand out in these photos so that someone clicks on you, so that someone chooses your item to even look any closer at. If you don't stand out amongst these pictures, then no one's even going to look at your item. So this is why your cover shot is so important. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to put a lot of money into it, but you do need to, and I can tell you're putting effort. So I'm not going to say you need to put more effort, because I can tell you are. I can tell that that you have listened to some people somewhere, about how to do this. But that doesn't mean, even everyone can improve. I can improve. We can all improve. So you're on the right path, in that you are putting effort into it. I can see this. I can see you putting effort into it, and I like that. But this is just a situation of which, the general rule should not apply to this dress, because the general rule of, hang it in front of this white sheet, which is doing, or a curtain, which might be a curtain, that's fine for all these other things, but for this particular dress, that's just not working for you. So you really need to just find out what is going to work for you with that dress. And unfortunately, it's also not going to cut very well to edit it onto a different color background, just because it is white on white and it's on a hanger. So we're going to have trouble getting it out of there without making it look kind of ugly. So work on that one. See what you can do as far as getting that picture better so that people will click on it. Okay, so aside from the picture. So again, we need to work on this. We need to work on our title. I always put the brand at the beginning. And then I would put, it's probably more of an ivory. So I would put ivory silk mini dress. I would put spaghetti strap. You've got a baby doll silhouette here. So I would put that. Okay, I like that you have dry clean because someone's going to ask, and you have 100% silk, has not been dry cleaned. Okay, but again, excuse me, what do you got here? Okay, so you've got that tag, which is good, and that's correct. It would also be good to have your care tag so that you have in there, proof of the fabric and the dry cleaning and all that jazz. Okay, and then again, I would only put this right here if you're 100% sure that that is the price of it. Okay, so let's go back over here to their silk dresses. White silk mini dress. Okay, so we kind of get an idea of what people are listing at. Which I kind of agree with some of these. I think that you could list this for over $50, maybe up to $75. So let's look at solds, just to make sure that we're not off the beaten path here. Okay, so let's see what we're selling at. Okay, so this is new with tags, so we can't really 100% go by that. But that sold for $65. Here's one that's not new with tags that sold for $50. These aren't exactly the same dress as yours, but they're still the same brand and a similar silhouette. And there's satin or silk, so they're similar fabrics, so similar quality. So like here's 24. I think that's low. I think someone gave that away. Here's a 50. 35. 30. Oh, this looks very much like your dress. New with tags. I think they gave that away too. But that looks very much like it. So these are not the be all end all because sometimes people just give things away and I don't understand it. Like they're just not they're not interested in making a profit. They're just interested in, getting stuff out of their closet. So I think that you could list this item with a good quality listing. I think you could list this item for $69 in hopes of maybe selling it for the $40 range. Maybe even $75 you could list it at. But you need to improve the quality of these pictures. You need to improve the quality of your title. You need to improve the quality of your description. You need to get a color in here. And we haven't even started talking about style tags. So you also need to be using your style tags. They're a gift from Poshmark, so make sure you're using those also. So as long as you've got your A game on this listing, I think you can list it in the $69 to $75 range in hope of selling for $40 to $50. Okay, so that's that listing. Okay, so now we'll go and talk about pictures in general, which I think we've covered a lot of things already. I think you're making good effort on your pictures. So the only thing, well, not the only thing, but a big thing I would say is I'm not a fan of this right here happening. Okay, this looks a whole lot better and cleaner, and you put the effort in than this does right here. So this is just a simple, you could probably crop right here a little bit and maybe get that out if you zoomed in a little bit and crop that out. That's one way to do that. Same with these, really be careful. Get this stretched out so that you're not getting these little peek throughs. That's much cleaner and crisper than, and it's just these little things. It's just little pet peeves, the little details that make it look like you really put your full effort into it. Same here with these. So you need to think about when you're taking your pictures, you need to think about that they have to be square. Okay, so try not like, because these are square, like the Poshmark does their pictures in squares. So set your camera to square when you're taking pictures, first of all, and you'll know exactly what you're getting. That's what you're going to get in your picture. If you take it in square and you're shooting it correctly, then you're not going to get these side marks here. But with jeans, I mean, I like this whole like laying them long thing, but it's causing you to have this, which I don't like. So when I do pictures of jeans, and when a lot of people do pictures of jeans, they fold them in different ways to create, instead of this rectangle look, to create a square look, so that then they'll show up as a square on the screen. So let's kind of look at, see if we can find like just jeans. I'm just going to search jeans. Okay. Just see if I can see some examples other than my personal examples of jeans on a flat line. Okay. So see, they've got theirs up against a wall and stretched out, and that's good, because I'm okay with that, because we don't have these lines of things sticking out on the side. Okay. So here's some that are folded in different ways to kind of create a square. Here's another folded. It's not 100% of a fan, but so there's a fold to create a square. Here's another type of fold that people use a lot to create a square. And this would just be for your cover shot. So the other pictures inside can be a little messier. They don't have to be as good. It's your cover shot that you want to really put a lot of time and effort into. Excuse me, the pictures inside are more about, inside your listing, I'm more about getting, hitting the marks that you have to hit in order to get the information across. Not so much about photo editing quality, but the cover shot, you really want good quality photo so that people click, so that people open it. So this one right here is a good fold, but I would remove this background. So, and if you're not familiar with Photo Room, I'm going to bring up Photo Room right here. So let's just steal this person's picture for a second. And I do a lot of stuff on my phone. So I'm not super savvy with the Chromebook here, but I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to save this image. Whoops, I hit the wrong thing. I'm going to save this image. Hopefully that works. Okay. And then, like I said, I do this. Let's see. There it is. Yay! Easy peasy. Okay. Bing, bam, boom. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. And so, okay. So let's see. It's acting very slow. I apologize. What happened? There is a Poshmark setting. There we go. Poshmark. So we don't want that one that says new dress. There's one that's like literally just a blank screen. And I'm using this on the free version right now. Well, I don't know why it's not showing me the blank screen, but there is a blank screen somewhere. All right, we'll just go with this right here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so the only thing is now I would say, for this person's photo, now I have the pro version of Photo Room, so it doesn't pop up the words Photo Room on mine, but that's no big deal. So many people have that. It's no big deal at all. But the only thing I would say is where this is so white, where these pants are so, but look at that's so much better than that. Okay, it's already looks better. Okay, and we can even change this background to, let's see, I want a color, just a solid color. Let's see, is that gonna make it pop? Yeah, that's popping. Okay. Okay, so it's popping on those. Okay, so really, I mean, any color besides white, it's popping right off the screen. And it would be whatever that person chooses to do. So this is similar concept to your white dress. You're going to want to put something behind it to make it pop off the screen. Okay, so let's go back over here. Okay, so that's a way that would really improve the quality of their photo, their cover photo, to make it pop on the screen when someone is scrolling through. But it's a good fold to fit on there. Okay, so I think we get the general idea of folds. Even this is okay. I mean, that's an okay fold too. So if you can't pretty fit them all stretched out and make the background nice, like this is good. This is okay, other than we're cut off a little bit right here, but that's a good background. These are good. Okay. So the other thing you could do, and I know you've worked really hard on these backgrounds, but you could take your photo and let's just, for giggles, let's do an edit on yours. Okay, so let's bing, bam, boom. So see, you don't even really, if you're going to use this tactic, you don't even really need to put a ton of effort into your background, because you can do that right there. And see, so now that you don't have this, just, well, I mean, the little flowers are pretty, especially where your rose, but you don't have this distraction right here. It's just the jeans. Okay, it's just your jeans really popping out, as opposed to like that where you have the background and then this carpet in the background here. So it's just a suggestion. Again, take my suggestions with a grain of salt, but I think that would do better like that. I'm not going to right now get into the nitty gritty of anything else on there. I'm just looking at photos in general. So that is the free version of Photo Room right there. It will have this watermark, which is okay. I mean, it's no big deal. Tons of people use that. It's no biggie. Now, you don't have access to every little thing on there, but you do have access to a lot. Oh, I just want to see what this one looks like when we do it. Let's do this one just for fun, for funsies. Ugh, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay. And all we have to do is replace it. If we're going to keep the white background, we don't have to go back out and back in. And looky there. Okay, so there we go. And that's really popping off of there. So that looks good. Okay. All right, so I hope that helps. And then you don't even have to worry. You wouldn't have even had to take the time to put the sheet down. You could have just taken it straight on your carpet without even putting the sheet down and just remove the background and have all those nice clean white backgrounds. Okay, so you don't even have to put that effort in. It's just, it literally takes that long. Like, that's all. I'm done. I could click save right here. Save. Done. Okay? And so it just had a little thing about removing Watermark, and it's going to say you have to purchase it. So they have a 7-day free trial. So if you want to do a free trial and get a whole bunch of photos done, you can. But, I mean, you don't have to pay for the full thing. You can do the free version. Okay, so that's what I will say about photos. This one actually looks pretty. I like that. But you did a nice, there's not the little sides here. Just be careful of that. If this is important to you and you want to do them like that, that's fine. It's important. It looks pretty and it kind of stands out. And I believe those are yellow roses, which is super cute. But just make sure that you're getting in that square. Take your pictures in square mode and make sure that you're not getting these sides right here. Again, I think you have some flowers right here, which is so super cute. But do something. So if you have a dress that's longer than it is wider, you would probably have to have, in order to make it square, the flowers aren't going to do well underneath it. They'd probably do better at the side, to get them in the photo without creating this section here. So work on that right there if that's important to you to have those flowers. This looks good right here. The shoes with the little plant in the background, that's fine. If you want to have that little style, that's good. Here's another white. It's not popping. The only thing that's making this pop are these yellow flowers. So, again, it's the same white concept. Unfortunately, white's got to go on something else usually. So I noticed one thing when I was looking at these two purses. So this purse and this purse, you've got them set up very similarly. But in this one, you have the little potted aloe, I believe that is. You've got it behind the purse, so the purse is the feature. And in this one, you've got it in front of the purse, which is making the purse kind of disappear into the background, but it's also making the purse look small because of the perspective here. It's making this plant look, so I don't even think you're any closer right here than you are right here. But this plant looks so much bigger in this picture than it does in this picture. So this needs to be switched. And I think it might be that you've got this purse leaning up against something, but maybe, bring it forward and get something behind it to hold it up so that in the flower more, the aloe more in the background, so that the purse is more the feature of that. And the reason you've got these lines here, these black lines, is because this wasn't taken in square mode, so you've had to cut some of that out. Same thing with this dress right here. I can see you've tried to put these flowers, which are really pretty, but you're going to need to create different dimensions here to get that in that square so that you get rid of those lines. It's just little things. I mean, if that means you don't have the flowers, then you don't have the flowers. So I think it's better to have this nice and clean without the flowers than to try to get the little bottoms of the flowers in there and have these sidelines. And actually, I think this is the one that I looked at earlier, excuse me, where I really like this picture better. The only thing I don't like about this picture better than this one is this picture has a lot of shadows, but that's pretty easy of a fix. You can go into the editor and just turn the shadows down. You can do that right on your phone. So you can take this picture on your phone and then go into the editing feature. And if you turn shadows down, it's going to look brighter like this with less shadows. But I really like this flat lay. I think it makes this dress look like it has more volume. And I really like the flowers. And I think it's more consistent with some of the other pictures you have. So I really like this one better. Just turn the shadows down. And that's all I would say about that. And I think that's a better photo. Let's see. All right. So that's all I'm going to say about photos. Titles, we've kind of beaten that horse too. So the important things you need to get in your title are the brand, whatever brand it is. I like to put that first. Any style features. So like what style bra is this? It looks like it might be a push-up. So like get that in there, get the color in there. It says, Victoria's Secret pink. It must be the brand pink. But this is navy blue, it looks like. So put navy blue in there. Get the color of the item or the pattern of the item, or if the fabric is particularly amazing, like leather, or like the one that was silk, or whatever happens to be a good fabric. Make sure you get that in there. And then make sure you have your size. So like right here, Chinese laundry wedges. Okay, so they're actually a little platform wedges. They're also got this mesh. This has got a particular style name that I can't think of off the top of my head. So that, and then you could get the size in there, and blah blah blah, things like that. Let's see, what else are some things we're missing, like Banana Republic shorts. Okay, they're blue. They're what are the length? Do they have a style name inside them? What they probably almost certainly do have some type of style name inside them. Get that on there and get your size. Lauren Conrad dress. Okay. It's a sleeveless dress. It's a mini dress. It is a pink, I think, dress. It is pleated. Is that pleated? Polka dotted. It's polka dot. It's a polka dot dress. You've got a flaw there that you got a picture of. That's good. So, okay, so pink dress with white polka dots. Okay, so get that in there too. Like pink, white polka dots. And the size small. Let's see. Steve Madden sundress. This is a dip tie-dye. So make sure you get dip tie-dye, size large, fall colors, or is that black or green? That might be green. I don't know. So brown and green. Make sure you get that in there. You've got blue and gold. So maybe it's blue and gold. So right in there, blue and gold. What silhouette is this? So get the silhouette. Is it linen? It kind of looks linen-y. Your style tag right here, bohemian. You can put that in your title. Bohemian, boho. Put that in your title also, because if someone is Google searching Steve Madden boho dress, yours is going to pop up a lot better if you have that in there. I'd really like to know what fabric it is. Is it cotton? Is it polyester? Is it linen? Potentially, where it's boho, maybe it's linen. I don't know. It's not in there. So instead of putting, when you have something that's marked one size and would better fit a different size, maybe put like, so in that case, I would say like fits small, or if you wanted to go up, you would call it oversized. So every once in a while I'll get something that's a small that literally my large, extra large could fit into. And I will put oversized. That's actually a feature word that you would also want to get into your style tags here. Okay. And I'm just curious. So let's the next thing we're going to talk about. Okay, well, actually descriptions is the next thing, which I feel like we've kind of gone over that a lot too. So let's pick something. Let's pick this skirt right here and look at the description. Earthbound skirt. Okay, so we're not going to talk about the title because we've talked about that a lot. So one thing I'll do is when I get my title, all my stuff on my title real good, is I copy my title and I paste it into my description as my first and my last line. Okay, and then in between that, if I want to get any other descriptors in there, I get them in there. If there's any other information I need to say, you definitely need more photos. One photo of this is not enough. You're not going to sell it with one photo. But if I need to get any other information in there, I do. But that's also where I put what's called my buyer confidence statement. Okay, and let's go to and you do not have to do exactly the same thing. I would just recommend that you do something that fits you. So here's my buyer confidence statement. Shop with confidence. I'm a Posh ambassador, top seller with over 900, which actually I'm over 1,000 sales. This hasn't been updated. 4.9 stars, top sharer, Posh mentor, 2-day average shipping, and I can ship faster by request. Love the item but not the price. I love offers. Don't be shy. Let's make a deal. So there's my title at the beginning, there's my title at the end, and there's my buyer confidence statement. I don't have a whole lot in my description because I probably have a whole lot in my pictures. Yes, I do. So there's plenty of stuff in these pictures to get the point across. Okay, so I don't need to put a whole lot of little details in my description because they're in the pictures. Okay, so I'm getting Ann Taylor black with blue lace overlay, sleeveless round neck sheath dress size 4. Okay, so you notice this was thrifted. I don't have a price on here because I have no idea what the price was and it's not important. I'm putting 0. Okay, and this is based off of comps, what I think I can list at, not necessarily what I think I can sell for, but what I can list at and still offer my discounts. So I've got my title, I've got it pasted there, and I've got it pasted here. So this listing I can tell already was done by my listing service that I just started using because they did put all this jazz in here. Thank you very much for doing that. Okay, and measurements are approximate. They wrote them in there based off of my pictures. Here's my pictures. So I've got my cover shot, which you don't have to do cover shots like this. This is my branding, is this water, the water background with my logo. So that's my branding. But this is the same picture without the edits. I take them, I don't have to do anything to these pictures. I take them in square mode. So I've got it at a slight angle. I've got side. Oops, I went too far. I've got, just one time. I've got back, and then I've got back with the zipper undone, measurement of the sleeve, care tag, brand tag with size, pit to pit, and they're starting at the pit down to the end of the hem to get the length, and then they've put all those descriptors in here for me, and I tell them to make sure they put approximate, and then I've got my shop with confidence, and then my title again. Okay, and in there I've also got women's dress midi. It is a black dress with a blue lace overlay, so I've got those two colors on there, and I just accidentally clicked on that. Okay, and then I've got now these aren't necessarily okay. Ann Taylor, I don't usually, this is my service putting these in here. I don't usually put the brand unless I just absolutely have nothing else to put. So sheath and lace and maybe mini, or midi, I mean, you could put something like formal. This could be considered formal. Or anything like that. So, business casual or office or whatever. This is not what this is, but I'm just saying those are examples. It's good to go and kind of look at these examples, look what's in there and see what you have as options, but you want to make sure that you utilize those because that is a feature that Poshmark gives you, so use it. Okay, so those are examples. So what I was going off of, what I was getting to the point of, is to have a buyer confidence statement, something that you say to the buyer that shows that they can trust you and that they can buy from you with confidence. Whatever you want to say. And you just save it. You can save it as a shortcut on your phone, on your keyboard, on your phone, and you can just put it on every single listing so that it's just there. It's just there on every listing, and it lets the buyer know that you are a serious seller, okay? And that you are going to provide them with what they ask for in a timely manner, okay? So whatever you have about yourself that you can say to do that, okay? Even if it just means like saying, I am a serious professional seller. I will provide you with the best customer service. Ask any questions. Whatever you want to say to portray that to your buyer, to the person looking at this, considering this, that to give them the little push over the edge to say, you can trust me, especially in lieu of having Poshmark statistics that show that. So other ways you show that is having professional, good quality pictures. You need more. That we already talked about that. Having a good title, having a good description, having all your T's crossed and all your I's dotted. Okay, so the next topic are pricing comps, which we've kind of talked about. So let's look at Earthbound skirt. So essentially, to price comps, you try to get as descriptive as you can, okay? And you look and see what's available. So, and I think that was a midi. So let's put it, whoops. Okay. So, I typed mini. Whoops. Midi. There we go. All right, very similar. Okay, so these are what people have listed as. Okay, so you can get a good idea of what people are listing and what's available. So when you're looking at what's available, is your skirt available? Is your skirt in your size available? Is your skirt in your size at the same quality available? And then what about the quality of the listing? Because you can also price up for the quality of your listing, because people are going to trust you more. If you have a quality listing, they're more likely to click on you. They're more likely to buy from you if your listing is a good quality listing. So you could have the same exact skirt and the same exact condition and the same exact size. And if you have a A+ listing compared to a D listing, who am I buying from? all else equal, who am I buying from? I'm buying from the person with the great listing. I might even pay more for the same item from the person with the great listing. Let's look at solds, because these are what you're actually looking at for how you're going to price. So it looks like we're selling in the teens to 20, 23, 28, but they've got a stock photo, which improves the quality of your listing. Here's another stock photo, 31. Okay, so the stock photos are really improving the quality of their listing. Okay, so we get the point. We're probably going to sell, this is probably going to sell in the $15 to $20 range. Okay, so if we're looking that it's going to sell in the $15 to $20 range, maybe 25, if you have a really great listing, it might sell for 25. So a couple things I would say is, are you 100% sure that that's the retail price? If you are not 100% sure that that's the retail price, put 0. And in this case, even if you are 100% sure that's the retail price, I would not put it, because there's not a significant enough difference here that you still have wiggle room. So you're going to end up getting yourself, I think ideally it would be great to sell this skirt. I think you're looking maybe in the $15 to $20 range, but it would be great if you could sell it for up to 25. So you want to list it a little bit higher, and you can't list it a little bit higher if this is what your retail price is. What do any of these people have retail prices over here? 45, 78, 60. Okay, so, and I don't know what these go for, but it looks like we might be looking like in the $40 to $60 range. I would put 0. Here's this really great one that sold for 31, and they put 0. Okay, so I think I would just put 0 on this, and that way they're not trying to compare it to a retail price, because the retail price on it isn't particularly necessarily high. So I think I would go ahead and put 0, and then maybe put this at $29, so that you can hope to give discounts and get at least 15 to 20, maybe 25. So list it at $29. I think you're safe there if you have a good quality listing. But first, your listing needs to be quality, and there's enough work to do on this listing that in order to benefit, so that you benefit from showing up as a new listing, because there is a lot of benefit to that, I would just go ahead and completely, let's see, 12, 17, 21. Yeah, so you can't do a relisting on this. So through the copy feature, so I would relist this from scratch, since you're going to have to do photos again. So yeah, unfortunately, when you have a lot of work to do on it and it's not old enough to use the copy feature, if you're going to put all that work in, you might as well also take advantage of the showing up as a new listing. So you might as well relist from scratch, and at which point you would then delete this. But before I did that, you do have a lot of likes on here. So before I did that, I would offer this to these people, if at whatever price you want to offer it at, and I might even do it on a closet clear out day. So I would send these people a message, since you don't have a lot of wiggle room in the price to begin with. I think I would send these people a message. Let me just show you kind of my closet clear out method that I do here. So I have, hello, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for visiting my closet. Today Poshmark is having closet clear out. This means that I would drop the price by, it has to be at least 10% in order for this promotion to work. Okay, so it has to be at least 10%. So you could say by 10%. I keep this general because I mass send it out. And Poshmark will offer you discounted shipping. Is this special promotion something you would be interested in? Okay, and then what you do, is you take that and you go to, My Shoppers. Okay, you go to My Shoppers. Boop, 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 boop. And you filter on likes. Okay, and you just click this person, and then you scroll as far as you want, however far you want to send it. You hit shift, and then you click that person. It fills all those in, and then you would click send comment, and you send your comment, and you click submit, which I'm not going to do because I don't want to send this, but you click submit, and the computer is going to send that message to all of these people. Okay, all of these people. So my closet clear out method that I use, that I did not come up with, I stole from someone else, is every closet clear out, I do this right here, and I go all the way back to the previous closet clear out, and I send that message that I just showed you to everyone who has liked something since the previous closet clear out. I send that message to them in hopes that they will reply that they're interested, in which case I then change the price of the listing. So you would actually lower the price. You don't just send offer to likers. You lower the price of your listing. So you have to go into your listing and you have to click edit listing and drop your price. Sorry, it's being really slow. So you have to click edit listing and then drop price. So price drop right there. Boop. And you have to drop by at least 10%. And then it will send that 10% notification and discounted shipping to everybody who has liked that item. Okay? So if you want to be sure it's working, anytime you want to be sure that it's working, I will like my own item prior to doing it. I also do that in case for some reason they don't buy, because if they don't buy, I go back and I relist that item just so that I can get my price back up to where it's supposed to be. So I usually will, if they say yes, they want to do that, I will like the item, I will price drop the item. Poshmark will send it to them, but it will also send it to me. And that's how I know that it's working, because I'll get a notification that that has happened. Okay, so we'll send it to me, and then it's only good for 6 hours. So usually I'll send the person a message and be like, price is dropped. It's only good for 6 hours. And the notification was sent out to all likers so that hopefully they'll jump on it. And then if I can remember 6 hours or even the next day, because I liked it, I go and I look at my likes. And if it wasn't purchased, then I relist it so that I can bring my price back up, and I just start all over, because that has been sent to everyone who has liked it at that point, and everyone who has liked it at that point was not interested. So I just need to start over from scratch. So I just relist it with the copy feature and bring my price back up. Okay, because that's the only edit I have to do is the price. I'll use the copy feature, and even though it may or may not show up as a brand new listing, that's okay. Because my goal is to just get the new price, get my price back to the normal price. If the goal is to get new listing, I wouldn't do it if the goal is to get new listing just for that purpose. But unless I have a lot of edits, and then I would do it from scratch. But I don't usually have a lot of edits. But the copy feature will show up as new listing if it's been more than 60 days. And you can check that in your inventory report through Poshmark, or you could check that by, like I've showed you, clicking on a photo, opening in a new window, and it will show up in the URL code. Okay, so price comps. All right, solds. Let's look at your solds. We kind of looked at them a little bit. I just kind of want to see what price range you're at. Okay. Sorry. Need to get to solds. Solds. I didn't want to scroll right by it. Okay, so you're probably close to averaging about $25 a sale, which is really good for a new seller. So that would be what I would say is your goal right now, is to have an average sales price of $25 or higher. And you can keep track of that, or there's apps that can keep track of it for you. But that would be what I would say would be your goal, because then after Poshmark takes their fees, you're getting $20 on average, and then hopefully your cost of goods aren't too much. Hopefully they're under $5 or under. And for a low cost of goods seller, $20, that would give you about an average of a $15 profit, which is decent for a new seller. So that's where I would say is your goal for that is to keep your average sale price $25 or higher. And that's a lot going to have to do with the quality of your listings, the quality of your pictures, the quality of your items. So, you want to make sure that when you're sourcing that you're getting good brands and good products that, are good quality, that are new with tags or excellent pre-loved condition. And I use the word pre-loved instead of used. So excellent pre-loved condition or new with tags. That don't have a lot of flaws or no flaws at all, that are in good sizes. If you can get 8s to 16s, larges, extra larges, great. And it looks like you have a lot of those. Plus sizes are really hard to come by. You have a lot of those. That doesn't mean turn your nose up at extra smalls and even mediums. But if you can kind of get in the large to plus size categories, those are great items to pick up, especially if they're good brands and good quality. Make sure you're staying on trend, which it looks like you're doing okay with. Make sure that, especially when you're picking up jeans, make sure you're picking up jeans that are currently on trend in their length and in their color and in their brand and in their waist rise and in their cut, as far as, are they flare, are they skinny, are they boot? Know your trends. And there's lots of videos on jean trends that you can find on YouTube. I don't personally have one, but there are lots of them. You can, search either jean bolos, which is be on the lookout for, or you can search jean bread and butter or jean trends on YouTube, and you can come up with things for that. Okay, so one last thing that we're going to look at is we're going to go to, let's go back to your listings. And we are going to sort by just in, because I want to see what your oldest listings are. Okay, so either you just sold these items right here, or you're not sharing enough, because your solds should almost never be higher. Okay. I just remembered I'm in just in. I apologize. I'm in just in and not just shared. My bad. Ignore what I was just about to say. If I was in just shared and you had solds mixed in with your current active listings, that either means that they literally just sold, or you're not sharing enough of your own closet. Okay, so let's go to the oldest available listing, which is this one right here. Let's see how old it is. It is 12/17/21. Okay, and today is the 26th of January, 2022. So this is not old enough to relist with the copy feature and show up as just listed. So you don't currently have anything that you would use that feature on, but once you are past 60 days, definitely make sure, so it has to be at least 60 days. I noticed that you said something about 30 days, that you were having items relisted at 30 days. They will not show up in just listed at 30 days. They will only show up as just, so you're defeating the purpose unless you are doing a lot of edits or you are doing a major price change. Do not relist through the copy feature prior to 60 days, because you're not getting any benefit out of that. You're literally just losing your likers, but not gaining any benefit. Okay, it has to be more than 60 days. So 61 plus days of being listed for it to show up in your just listed category. Or just in, to show up in the just in feed and to be promoted by Poshmark to buyers as just in. Okay, so wait until day 61. Wait until day 61 to relist through the copy feature. Okay, now that's not to say that if we're relisting because we're improving the listing to have a better quality listing, or if we're relisting through the copy feature to change the price, that's all fine and dandy. You are going to lose your likers. But for me, when you're more established, you don't do that. You don't lose your likers unless you've either exhausted all avenues of providing discounts, or if you are past 61 days, so that it will show up as just in. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I think that there's plenty to work on. I think you're on the right path, and it looks like based on the what you're doing in your closet right now, I can tell that you are serious and that you do want to make the most out of your closet. And even the fact that you've reached out to me and allowed me to look at your closet for this purpose, I think is great because it shows that you're interested in improving. I think you have the potential to reach that $100 per week profit. And I don't think it's that far off. I think that it's just going to take a little bit of effort to keep on the path to improve your closet to the point of where you can do that. So, big thing, cover photos. Other thing is to make sure you have detailed photos of the items so that you don't have to answer any questions, so that all the information is there. It also makes you look more thoughtful and more professional. Titles that when people search and Google, your items are going to show up. So descriptive titles, and then descriptive descriptions. So copy and paste your titles into your descriptions. Anything else you want to write in there, including make sure that you have a buyer confidence statement in there so that your buyers trust you. Okay? Make sure that you're pricing items within your comps for what's sold. Make sure that you're getting things that when you're sourcing that people want and are willing to pay for. And make sure that you're sharing your own closet 3 to 4 times a day minimum. Oh, that's probably one thing I forgot to show you real quick. So in case you don't know this, I can only show you this on my own closet, but on my own closet, if you go to this little feature right here, it's also, you can also see it on your phone through the app. And this is definitely for a closet your size. This is very doable, but if you click on that right there and share to followers, okay, you just click on each one of these, boop, 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 boop. You just click everything all the way down, and then you're going to click share to followers, and it is going to share all of your items for you. So that is a good feature. It is a newer feature that Poshmark has, and I think a closet your size, you can easily use that feature to share your own personal closet at minimum of 3 to 4 times a day. Although I think that a good goal to have is to share your own closet 8 to 10 times a day. I think that's ideal. I don't think that should be your first priority. I think improving your photos and your cover photos and your listings should be your first priority right now. But I think once you have your photos and your listings perfected to where you feel more, where they're more of an A quality instead of a C quality or a B minus quality that they are right now, I think once you get them up to that A plus quality, that then you can invest more time in sharing your own closet and try to reach that goal of sharing your own closet 8 to 10 times a day, whether you do it yourself through that feature or whether you have quote unquote help to share your closet 8 to 10 times a day. If you're going to share other people's closets, focus on the new poshers, because that is going to help bring new people, new poshers who tend to be buyers to your closet. Okay, so I think that's it. I really want to thank you, Rose, for allowing me into your closet. I want to thank you for allowing me to record this and to post it on YouTube. I hope you got something out of it. I really appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone else who showed up to listen and watch this video. I hope you got something out of this. If you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you enjoy reseller content like closet evaluations, unboxings, thrift hauls, or what's sold, things of that nature, then be sure to subscribe to my channel, because those are the types of videos I make. I hope everyone has a blessed day, and I hope y'all come back soon. Bye.